All right. I have a question for you.
Okay.
As a good lender.
As a good lender.
As a good lender. It's a question for the good lender. Is it a good time to buy right now?
This is a really good question. Because I was talking about this just the other day. It's a really good time to buy a home because it's a little more difficult to get a loan. So it's like you've always got a teeter-totter going on here. Mm-hmm. And this is investing 101. Or salesmanship. This is a crazy story. Okay. So, and this is like, did you ever see that? They did Payless did a spoof where they rebranded their shoes and they relaced them in a New York designer club and then had influencers. They invited influencers.
And then
they bought the shoes for hundreds of dollars, and the influencers are like, oh, you can tell this is quality. And like, it's Payless. And they're like, what? I would still pay for it. Like, just trying to save face.
Yeah.
But, okay, the harder it is to get, the easier it is to buy.
Yes.
So, and it like in like furniture sales and stuff, where I learned that if you make something exclusive, limited number, while supplies last, people are like, I need that. But that's kind of what's going on with houses right now.
Yeah.
So mortgages are making it harder to
acquire
purchase,
a home.
but it's making houses easier to get.
Yes.
Because there's less competition. So if you're buying, is it a good time to buy now? It depends. Right now, you can get sellers to pay closing costs. You can get stuff thrown in. You get more agreeable times because there's less buyers out there. But go ahead.
There is so many reasons why it's a good time to buy right now. And people are scared of different things, like interest rate. Like the moment that interest rate went above 4, everybody just like got terrified. And I was just like flabbergasted because I started working when interest rates were now 4. And it's just, people were saying at that time, oh my goodness, interest rates are so low. And now it's like, oh my goodness, interest rates are so high. And they're not even close to what it was back then.
Yeah.
So interest rates should not be a reason why you do not buy a home. Obviously, if you cannot qualify, then we need to work towards to that. But interest rate is not a good reason.
So in investing, and please note, I'm not giving investing advice, but you're always working the margins because it doesn't matter. Like I'll review profit and loss statements or tax returns for business owners, and the people who make the most money also spend the most money. So corporations will bring in millions, they'll spend millions, but the difference is $2 million. And what happens to that difference? That's what the investor, the business owner, keeps. Yeah. So this is crazy because like interest rates are high, but so is inflation. So I was talking to someone the other day, and he recently got married, and she's like, we should sell this house and get a new house because she's thinking about, I want a new house, and he's thinking about investment. Now his current interest rate is in the 2s. And I was like, you actually don't want to pay that off any sooner than absolutely necessary because working the margins. Because money is losing value faster than 2% right now. So while interest rates are 6s, 7s right now, inflation is still higher. So if you can afford the payment and invest other ways, I actually recommend keeping a mortgage debt as long as you can, as long as the rate is beneath inflation. Because even though like if your interest rate's around 6%, you're going to pay 3 times the value of the house with minimum down payment, which people freak out about. But if you look at what houses cost 30 years ago, it was
nothing.
Yeah, it was a lot less than a third.
Compare right now.
Yeah. So
but at the same time, not everything was on that same value price. You know, I mean, people say, oh, food is so expensive now. Well, yeah, food is so expensive. Everything is expensive. And it's not about the interest rate. It's about way different things that make it so everything is expensive. Yeah. So it's hard to tell you that it's a wrong time to buy when it's not, because it's always a good time to buy. Well, but it depends.
It depends. It's so on one aspect, it's always a good time to buy. But the question is it a good time to buy for you?
Yes. Yeah, it definitely changes the panoramic on what do you have. But if you are of the people that are thinking, well, I'm going to wait until the prices go lower.
Not in Utah.
Not here.
I'm not saying it can't happen, because for a short time there were a few houses that, like, there was a couple short sales I heard of. There's a few homes that went down in value, and so like one of the things is like, I would say it's generally a bad idea to buy a home if you're planning on selling it within 2 years. You're not going to recoup your costs because there's fees associated with it.
Yeah.
But if you're planning on staying put,
it is all a time of patience for a moment, and buy something that you can keep for a little while, and then make a profit out of it. If your plan is to sell it again, if you're thinking of having a house for you, then it might be a good idea to do it, just because Utah has it is still appreciated, it's still going to give you some money in the long term. But if you're thinking of like, oh, I'm going to buy this one, and then, in 2 years or 3 years, I'm going to buy another one because I won't fit on this one, or, have a plan like that, maybe you have to think about it and realize a couple things.
Yeah. One thing I always like to tell my clients is there's 3 things you can pick. You can pick how fast you can go, you can pick how good the quality is, or how much it costs.
Yeah.
And so now's a good time. Get pre-approved. Start talking to a real estate agent, see what you like, and then if you can take all the time you want, price and quality you can nail down. But if you're like, oh crap, I need a house now, you're going to cut short in price or quality.
Yeah.
You may not get exactly what you want, or you may have to pay more for exactly what you want.
Just a couple of days, I got a person asking me, okay, how much do I need to say that I did on my taxes in order to qualify for this type of house? And Jason here helped me with the numbers, because I'm not the person that knows that. There's a difference between realtor and lender. And when we talk about that, he's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And I sent him some properties around, like the properties that are in the price range that he's looking for. And he was thinking that he was going to buy something that it was falling apart, then he was going to have to fix. And no, right now in the market there is good homes over there, good places that you can move in, and they're ready, livable, with a good amount of price. So there are options, but if you don't ask, how are you going to know?
Right. And the other thing that's really interesting to know is people qualify for monthly payment. Mm-hmm. And they don't qualify for purchase price. The purchase price is a result of rate and purchase price. So everybody thinks, oh, when rates are going to go down, my monthly payment's going to go down, which is true. But the other thing is demand then goes up because there's more buyers than qualify, and that forces the purchase prices up because the same pool of people are looking at the same type of homes. When you have an increase of buyers, you have an increased demand, and then prices go up.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of funny because of that particular person has been like trying to buy a home since 2021. And it's been, well, I don't know if I can qualify. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. And there was a time when he's just like, I can't buy anything. Everybody beats me to the price.
That was a sad time.
And it happened. But now sellers have to realize that we're not on those times. And they need to figure out that if you want to sell your house, then you need to be a little more lenient on like, oh, well, okay, my home is not the same price that I thought it was, or my home now needs to help pay those, concessions, those closing costs, those other fees that are associated with buying a home, so I can have people come and check my place. So, versus right now versus in 2021, back then houses were selling in a weekend. Right now it takes about 40 days. So it is a big difference, and buyers and sellers need to figure out those things.
Yeah. So, is now a good time to buy?
Is it?